You're not on the air here. Now it says you're on the air.
We're on the air. Technology. Hello and welcome. That's Shel Israel there. Hello, Shel. I'm going to put you on the main screen.
Hello, Martin. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to connect with you properly. We're going to be talking a bit about this when we talk about VR, AR, AI experiences, the hats. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to be doing? Do you want to explain who you are, what you're up to these days, and then we'll go from there?
Was that a question? Should I answer that?
That is a question. That's how it works. That's the level of formality that we're now in. Is just me saying stuff, and then you hoping that it's understandable in my
I think
Welshness.
Although I'm still having a lot of trouble hearing you.
Are you?
Yeah. Do you have a volume somewhere?
This is as good as this is. I can see I'm okay. Maybe on your side, because I can see I'm okay on that. Let me just double check.
Thing there is to fiddle with, and you're at full blast. You should be booming in my head right now.
I should be booming in your head right now. I don't know. We can edit this. I don't know if there's another way. I can
remember to shout. You use large fonts when you speak.
All right. Okay. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Shel Israel. I write books, usually with Robert Scoble, at least the ones that sell well. I write with him. And Robert and I are starting a new company called Transformation Group.
Great. Awesome. So let's talk about the book first. This is a first mover book, really, isn't it? It's a statement book that we feel that this is going to happen. Scoble's been around. Scoble's usually on the money when it comes to stuff. You're there writing the books with him, but you've got your own voice in this as well, haven't you? So I want to hear your views. What do you think's going on in VR in terms of, say, investment? Is it happening this year? Is it ever going to happen? What do you think?
Well, that's kind of cute because I read in the journal, as I'm guessing you did, that investments are not what they expected. This is the first full year of VR, and AR hasn't really started yet.
Yeah.
And yet we see that Magic Leap, for example, a company with no products, no demo that wasn't rigged, no customers, has received $1.3 billion, that's with a B, in investment, and they haven't yet said if and when they're going to have a product. We have MindMaze in Switzerland, a medical and gaming VR company that moves things around with brainwaves. It is clearly the future, but right now for gamers, it looks like I don't know what, but it looks like the gamers are going to tip over when they're using. Oh, you got one? Yeah. It's very front heavy. It's just a beginning, but they've received $1.2 billion in investment. Every time I turn around, I see Robert being surrounded by new Unity developers who have new cool things. And of course, a lot of the new cool things are new ways of zapping aliens. But there's also a lot happening in education, in industry, in logistics, in health. Great deal happening in health. Retailing is just inching forward. We're betting retailers, hotels, people, airlines are starting to ask us gingerly little questions. Since we just started the new consulting business, we call them prospects now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that we're asking for money for what we've been doing all along, they say, I think I'll read the book, thank you, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that then. Let's talk about the consulting business, because you guys know a lot. You've got a lot of connections. There's people reaching out. And obviously today or yesterday, it must have been yesterday, I shared it today, that Robert was putting out about getting paid for the knowledge, really, and getting paid for opinion and perspective, and for as well as connections and all of this. And I guess in a way, is that why now the time's right? And I know you've been looking at launching the business for a while, because I've been watching you guys and what you've been talking about. So is this now the lift-off point? Again, you guys being first movers, as I see it, that this is going to happen. We're only in, February? We're the 2nd of February now. So 2017, it's going to be a steady build, a slow build, or something's going to start to happen where people can get paid that aren't only developers. Is that going to happen?
I'm not quite sure what the question was because I missed.
I don't know either. I don't know. Can we make some money out of it? Can we make some money, Shel?
Where's the money? Well,
can we make some money? Is the market going to move so that people who aren't game developers and aren't app developers are going to have a role? Because that's really where an ecosystem starts to get built out beyond individual apps into a wider space.
I think it has already started moving. By comparison, CES, which is a good bellwether for consumer technology, last year there were 6 or 8 exhibit booths to go see. The big one was, of course, Viv, which now people are starting to talk beyond. This year, half of South Hall was just AR and VR stuff. And over half of that was other stuff.
Yeah.
So the movement is huge and fast, and based on the fact that we are pretty successful in early calls and tech business books, we're running almost twice ahead of our last book, Age of Context. Age of Context was our best-selling book ever. We hit #1 in computers and technology. It's the first time we've been inside the top 10. We're now coming on to 2 months, and we're in the top 50 in computer and technology in the Amazon.
Yeah.
The people who are buying this are not developers for the most part, and they're certainly not gamers for the most part. Gamers are too busy playing games. And there is some book about something that you really would be better off going and seeing, but I guess I shouldn't be telling readers that, should I? But we have a way of transforming, I'm playing with the word, almost everything that we do. I'm a journalist by training, so I never say, it's going to change everything. Robert does that every day, but I'm more concerned than that. And yet I was the one that said, let's take out the word almost, and our title says it will change everything.
Yeah.
If you want to walk through them, I can take the time allotted before us, but in communications, you and I are now talking through a screen. There's a barrier. I can't really touch or feel you. But in demos that I've seen from Meta, you would be sitting in the seat next to me 1 minute.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the seat next to me. Okay.
You put me in later.
I could give you a fist bump. We could decide if one of us was wearing cheap men's aftershave.
How can you tell? Yeah.
This is all going to happen.
Yeah.
And if not for people my age or even your age, younger people, this is going to be natural. When I tell my grandson that I grew up with a party line where my neighbors could listen in to me, this is before the NSA figured out how to do it. They look at me in awe. What? And I talk about a rotating dial. They've never seen one. Yeah. So when you're talking about generations coming of age who were born when the smartphone was here, the ones we call Minecrafters who follow millennials, they were born after the iPhone came here.
Yeah.
So the expectation of what they have now to what they're going to want to use when they shop in your store or learn in your classroom is tantamount to what somebody who bought a car in 1909 felt when he looked at a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Blacksmith would look at him and laugh and say, get a horse. We're going through a transformation in technology that is going to change culture, and we already have everybody who's under 30 or so in that culture. Fast forward 10 years, plan your business 10 years forward, and guess what? You better let me wear glasses in your store. And when I look at the product on the shelf, first of all, when I arrive at the mall, those glasses will tell me where blue jeans in my size are available. They won't tell me the prices because the retailers won't cooperate if we have price shopping in it. But then there'll be a path on the aisles of the shopping mall. Actually, better yet, you'll have the celebrity of your choice, the movie star or athlete of your choice, just walk you there And while you're walking with this celebrity of your choice, they might point out that there's a nice belt to go with your jeans, or if you're of a different gender or preference, a nice purse to go with those jeans. So that's one example. In China, where despite really valiant efforts to reduce the population growth, they still cannot produce teachers fast enough to keep up with the increasing number of students to be educated. So out of desperation, they've turned to a virtual game company who's now going to create virtual teachers. So each pupil will be in a classroom, and if you prefer a cute young female teacher, and I prefer an old white-haired male teacher, and you prefer somebody of one race, and I prefer we'll each get the teachers we want with the personalities we respond best to. Each of those teachers is going to be watching our eyes more closely than teachers do now. If you start looking the other way or wandering off, they'll give you a pop quiz and get your attention right back in.
Yeah.
Surgery, post-Western HoloLens to replace the cadaver, so that med students and anatomy students now are learning what a real healthy human heart looks like, rather than one that has been dead for 30 days and has a certain bouquet to it as you try working on it.
Yeah.
There's a guy for a company called Doosan, a French company, but he's located in Massachusetts. His daughter was born with a congenital heart disease, and no doctor could figure out what it was. So he developed a virtual reality tour for doctors and medical practitioners of a human heart, so they can see what a patient's heart looks like compared to the intricacies of the real human heart. Should I keep going, or do you want to ask another question? Because I could write a book about it.
No, you keep going, man. That was great. The only thing, I was almost about to jump in and make an old, terrible joke that I wrote many years ago, which is that I had a congenital wart once. It ran in the family. It's an old bad joke, but I did it in stand-up. You not get that?
That? I was wondering what that thing on your nose was. You know?
There you go. So well, yeah, let's just go for it. It was on my nose. That was it. Didn't get a laugh.
This were the conversation in the near-term future, I could draw that wart right on your nose. Yeah. And it wouldn't be a pretty sight either, I got to tell you.
It wouldn't. But at least neither of us has been in the shower with the Oculus on yet. I tell you what. I bet there's been conversations in the Israel or Scoble household about how far you can push some of the photos.
Well, I would point out that I was not in that shower with Robert.
You weren't near the house at the time.
And I would also point out that this is electronic equipment that if you took a shower with, you might have the following experience. So I don't think
we'll keep it in the rooms. We'll keep it downstairs. So what about social? Where do you see social going? I know storytelling and social, actually. So
Robert and I started a show in April. You froze. Are you alive?
I'm here. Okay.
Keep moving. Robert and I are starting hosting a talk show on Altspace VR, which is a social VR place where we talk to unsmiling avatars of people who, when they like us, emit hearts into the air or little balloons, or every now and then get bored and decapitate each other, which we always find great fun. The point is that when you put on the glasses, which not long from now will look pretty much like what I'm wearing, you will be able to be present where others are not. And when HoloLens launched, they had a guy from NASA there who appeared to be talking to them from the moon. And the guy from Microsoft was just chatting on a stage with this guy across the street. But you'd swear that they were not on the moon, on Mars. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the conversation, the nature of conversation between people not in the same place is going to dynamically change. We're going to play together. You could be there in your room with a virtual chess set on the desk in front of you, and I could have one over on this chair. I won't show you the chair again. And when you move a piece, I'm going to see it move on my set, and then I'm going to move it. But your piece will be a classic British because you sound so classically British. set, and I'm going to have a modern one done by some San Francisco guy who is looking at God while designing the nights. And that's okay because we'll see the same moves, and we can do it by voice, of course. That's another thing. The interface has changed. Here's something we don't say often enough. The dynamic between using one of these suckers and leaning over and doing this, or even saying, Siri, call Robert Scoble. No, I didn't say ball the Popel. I said Robert Scoble, and go through that frustration. Now we're going to start moving stuff with our eyes. In a little while, further out with brains, voice interaction. If you take a look at some of the new home devices, we call them in the book digital genies, like Lexus, Amazon Echo, the Google device, you start seeing how you can walk around and just be voice interactive. You start getting into the old Star Trek. The computer, look up all the British guys with large white microphones who want to talk to them. We're entering a time when space gets virtualized, where we get immersed. We go to movies and we walk around the actress. You go to the same movie with me and we have different experiences. You're listening to the narrator and I'm getting hung up on this really cool thing on the table over there, and I kind of walk off the set while I enjoy it. Everything is going, instead of us being separated by the barrier of screens, we're all going to be immersed in what is going on. We're going to be able to take information which isn't there, and I can look up and I can find out who you've interviewed before me, how your reviews are. You can do the same thing about me as we meet, as we talk. When we now go to business conferences, we're no longer going to have to stare at bosoms to see the name tag, which is usually our excuse of good men. Instead, I'm going to look at your face. My glass is going to recognize who you are. It's going to tell me when we've met before, how we've connected before, or remind me that I really don't like you, and so I can move on. So all of this is going to happen very rapidly. You got to remember what I'm talking about is massive, so it'll play out over the next 10 years. Yeah. Sometimes the technology will get there before people get there. We've been talking to a lot of the autonomous car guys. Robert drove one in the desert when we were at CES. They think their technology, level 5, fully autonomous car, one where you read the magazine because there's no steering wheel there, will be technically ready in 3 years. I think the drivers will be ready in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So we're getting to a point where the technology may have to slow down to wait for the customers to catch up. That's up there.
Yeah. It does. I mean, I can see. I mean, I've been on the project now for 4 months, largely using Oculus Rift. I had Gear VR for a year before, and I would say, and you probably had the same experience, people haven't actually got a clue what it's like until they spent enough time. Not a clue what's in there. And it's not available. You can't get it from cardboard. You can't get it from just putting your foot. You've got to go in full on and have the hands and have that level of immersion. But when people get it, they suddenly see why you, Robert, so many other people are excited, because it is a world changer.
And once people get one, after their first experience, what do they do next? They share it with their friends. And then what happens? The friends get it, and the friends say, I don't know. It's probably going to make me dizzy. Who the hell needs this? I don't like to zap aliens anyway. Yeah. And then you get in it, and you're swimming with a whale, and you're hearing the tranquil sounds of the blue Pacific. Or you're sitting next to the most beautiful person you've ever seen. Or you go down to the void, and you have a ghost go right through your body, and you feel it enter. Yeah. And the next time the alien zaps back at you, you feel a little twinge pain in your chest through haptic technology.
Yeah.
So everybody that uses it becomes an evangelist for it. You know, and Robert, of course, centers it all on the launch of the next iPhone, which is the 10th anniversary of the iPhone, which he believes will be clear glass and will possibly ship, maybe not till 2018, but with a pair of augmented reality glasses that, again, don't look that different from what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And this is happening so fast. The iPhone 7, which generally was a sucky upgrade, shipped 13 million in its first weekend and hit some kind of record for the quarter. I think it was 30 million. So now we're going to come out with this revolutionary phone. It's clear glass. It connects with your glasses, giving you a virtual experience. How fast are there going to be a billion users? Apple's not alone. We've seen. I'm blanking on the name of the cool startup from Rochester, New York, making glasses that already look like Oakley's. There's limitations. Their brand, I can't remember, which says that they're going to be partnering with brands I have heard of. Maybe someone like Samsung, who isn't doing so well making their own, might start adopting what this company is making.
Yeah.
I think adoption is already at the early phase of an exponential curve. What is missing is just that early adopter thing, because every millennial is an early adopter. They love this stuff. They can't believe, that's going to be the dividing line, those that use the glasses and those that use phones. It's going to be like the dividing line between those that drove automobiles and those that rode buggies.
Yeah.
It's going to be that, and the change is going to be transformational. I love
it.
That.
It is. Yeah, it's great. Now, let me make sure everyone knows where can they get the book. Amazon, and leave a review.
Well, if this was virtual reality or augmented reality, I'd just hand it to you. Amazon.com, the fourth, F-O-U-R-T-H, not the number, transformation. Well, if you can read, you can spell it.
Yeah.
Just type that in, and you'll get that book. Hold it down. You got too much glare on it. Right there.
All right. There you go.
Cute.
Good.
We call it Polly Girl.
Beautiful cover.
To share it. We like the book.
I've seen this journey over the time, because I don't know if I was doing stand-up in San Francisco on virtual reality 3 years ago, right? And I'm joking now, going, maybe some of my jokes, and I've got a lot of jokes that are waiting to happen, and I'm waiting to do them in virtual reality. So from a storytelling point of view, I'll come and see you when you launch your chat show, because I look forward to that.
I look forward to that too.
Good. Everybody, check out the links in the description. I'll make sure I link to all the books, and we'll check out the comments as well. Shel, hang around for a second, but thank you so much for this brief chat. It's lovely to connect with you. You're such a friendly guy. I see you on social. I like your style. You got the hat as well. See, we're talking about hats.
You bring it on. You bring it on, because I have interviews that begin with, "So tell me about your book." Well, it has pages in it and words printed on it. But you're engaged. You know what you're talking about. You lean forward. You get into it. You make this as close to face as you can get. And with VR, AR, and everything else we have, there's still nothing like face-to-face yet.
We're going to get there. Everybody, Shel Israel, check out below the fourth transformation. Essential. Everybody, it's essential really to understand the breadth of what's going on. Then you just got to hop into VR, wait for AR to land, mixed reality. What's that?
This is fun.
Thanks, everybody. That's Shel.